This is Venezuela's most famous landmark. It's locked away in one of its most inaccessible locations.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the breathtaking places around the world, both natural and human-made, that deserve a little more recognition.
There can be only one venue for this grand event: the Meenakshi Amman Temple.
Number 20. Cappadocia, Turkey. The Valle de la Luna in Chile deserves a mention here for its extraordinary geologic formations. But we can't help but be enchanted by the characteristic fairy chimneys of this historical region.
This intricately sculpted landscape has captivated travelers for millennia.
Stacked with geological marvels and fascinating structures, Cappadocia contains ancient churches, monasteries, and dwellings carved into rocks. Hot air balloons dot the sky as tourists explore the stunning area from above.
Every year, Voral takes almost 2,000 tourists up to the skies, each hoping to view this fantastical landscape from a unique aerial perspective.
But there's even more to explore beneath the surface. That includes Derinkuyu, an underground city large enough to have housed 20,000 people. This place could warrant a spot on the list on its own, but the whole region is remarkable. Number 19. The Banaue Rice Terraces, the Philippines. While they've been placed on an unofficial long list for the 8th wonder of the world, the Banaue Rice Terraces are not as widely known as many other world marvels.
For 2,000 years, the mountains of Ifugao province have been cultivated with terraced rice fields that stretch thousands of feet high.
The remarkable terrain is 2,000 years in the making, with generations of Ifugao people tending to the intricately carved mountainside terraces. Although it's been disputed exactly when these irrigated rice terraces were created, it's generally thought that they were largely made by human hands, and without much equipment. The site is popular among tourists, but we're hoping to cultivate some additional appreciation by adding it to our list.
If you take a guided hiking tour, make sure to pack a picnic for an outstanding view of this remarkable landscape.
Number 18. Borobudur Temple, Indonesia. This 8th or 9th century Buddhist temple is the largest in the world.
The base is a 1,200 square meter terrace topped with 6 tiers. The walls are adorned with numerous Buddha reliefs.
Located in Indonesia, the magnificent structure was a monument of the Sailendra dynasty, which ruled the area for around 5 centuries. In the upper terraces of the temple, bell-shaped structures called stupas contain Buddhas and provide nice spaces for meditation.
The exact purpose of its construction is not clear. One theory is that the complex represents Buddhist cosmology. It's a mandala.
With a panoramic view of the trees down below, it is an atmosphere like no other. And while the temple is a Buddhist pilgrimage site and popular tourist attraction within Indonesia, not everyone in other parts of the world is aware of this marvel. Number 17. Quang-Si Falls, Laos. There's something inexplicably magical about a waterfall, both in its sound and sight. Very few waterfalls can measure up to the beauty of Quang-Si Falls in Laos. It features 3 tiers, with the main fall boasting a 200-foot drop. What lies below is arguably just as mesmerizing. Stunning, shallow turquoise pools connected by cascades, allowing water to flow from one pool to the next. Also worthy of mention here are a couple of other underrated and enchanting falls, like the Fairy Pools in Scotland and Kravica Waterfall in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Number 16. Leshan Giant Buddha, China. Nestled within a cliff face at the junction of the Min and Dadu rivers in the Sichuan province is a massive eye-catching Buddha.
This is the giant Buddha of Leshan. The feet are so large that 100 people could stand on top.
The statue was expertly crafted during the Tang Dynasty and is located within the Mount Umei scenic area. Crucial to the history of Buddhism, the Sichuan province is also home to the first Buddhist temple in China. The towering Leshan Giant Buddha is actually the tallest Buddha sculpture in the world at 233 feet. Whether you admire it from the stairs, from a boat, or just in pictures, the Leshan Giant Buddha is striking.
Local people decided to make a large Buddha here to thank him for trading success and to grant safe passage.
Number 15. Leptis Magna, Libya. Remnants from the ancient city of Leptis have survived for thousands of years.
Leptis Magna is on the Mediterranean coast of Libya. It's one of the largest ancient Roman sites in Africa.
Founded in the 7th century BCE, the city became an important part of the Roman Empire before being abandoned in the 7th century CE. However, many of its structures, buried under sand dunes for centuries, were unearthed in the 1920s. Among the recovered elements of the settlement are the ruins of an ancient amphitheater and marketplace.
The ancient metropolis of Leptis Magna clearly existed, but only about 30% of the site has been excavated so far.
The tetrapylon arch is truly extraordinary. Also visible is the Severan Basilica, with its elaborate carvings and columns. As far as taking a stroll through history goes, Leptis Magna is a sight to behold. Number 14. Tikal, Guatemala. Imagine roaming through a rainforest in Guatemala on a gorgeous sunny day. And then boom, there it is, a 154-foot-high structure with a steep staircase.
Tikal was one of the largest ancient cities of the Mayan civilization. The city thrived for nearly 1,000 years, but it was suddenly abandoned during the 10th century.
The structure is known as Tikal Temple I, and it's one of the major components of a pre-Columbian Maya civilization. The city of Tikal is home to a collection of astonishing structures in its main plaza, now part of Tikal National Park. Researchers believe that Tikal was inhabited as early as the 6th century BCE.
It is believed that at one period, Tikal had up to 60,000 residents.
In addition to the surviving architecture, the artistic remains at the site make for an astonishing trip back in time. Number 13. The Great Pyramid of Cholula, Mexico. You may have heard of Chichen Itza, which was part of the new 7 Wonders of the World campaign. However, it's not the only remarkable archaeological site in Mexico. The Great Pyramid of Cholula is actually the largest pyramid by volume known to exist in the entire world.
Built over 2,000 years ago, the site boasts as the largest base pyramid in the world and holds century-old secrets from the first inhabitants of this land to the conquering Spaniards.
Believed to be constructed as a temple to the Aztec deity Quetzalcoatl, its history dates back to around 200 BCE. The pyramid has not been fully excavated because a historically significant church sits atop the temple.
As soon as Jose and I walked in through the church doors into this church, there's so much gold everywhere and so much detail, and it's just beyond beautiful.
It's believed that the structure accounts for just a portion of the entire archaeological site in which it resides. Number 12. Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. This is a wonder 40,000 years in the making. Prehistoric lakes evaporated, leaving polygonal formations of salt and other minerals in expansive flat areas. The world's largest example of the salt flat phenomenon is located in Bolivia. Salar de Uyuni covers approximately 4,086 square miles. And while you might typically try to avoid bad weather when going on a trip, the rainy season is actually the best time to visit the Uyuni salt flats. That's when you can observe an unparalleled wonder, the largest natural mirror on Earth, right beneath your feet. Number 11. Singui de Bemaraha, Madagascar. There's something unusual yet beautiful about the shape, size, and abundance of limestone located at the Singui de Bemaraha National Park in Madagascar.
Singui de Bemaraha is on the western side of the island. The pinnacle formations cover 1,520 square kilometers.
The word Singui can mean where one cannot walk barefoot, a fitting name given the park's sharp, needle-like limestone pinnacles that form a maze-like landscape. While you wouldn't want to forget your shoes, the region is an ideal place to take in one of nature's many marvels. The steep slopes are home to a variety of rare species.
The sivakas survive within an intricate balance between man and nature.
Singui de Bemaraha offers spectacular views and a true sense of awe. Number 10. Chartres Cathedral, France. A definite high point of French Gothic art and architecture, Chartres Cathedral is often overlooked, usually in favor of Paris's more immediately famous Notre Dame. However, Chartres is an almost perfectly preserved example of its era.
The front facade is located on the west wing. The west is where the sun sets and represents the apocalypse. The Last Judgment.
It boasts pristine stained glass, 2 complementary spires on its west end, and general architectural features that are largely unchanged since the early 13th century.
It is hoped that this extraordinary heritage will be protected long into the future.
It genuinely is the genuine article. Speaking of genuine articles, Chartres also houses the Sancta Camisa relic, which legend has it was clothing worn by the Virgin Mary when Christ was born. Number 9. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. Often cited as the most significant place never to have received Wonder of the World classification, Angkor Wat is one of our planet's largest religious monuments.
The maps show the area of Angkor was the size of modern-day Los Angeles.
It's also enormously popular, attracting more than 2 million tourists every year. A temple complex rather than one lone structure, it was built in the 12th century as a place for Hindu worship. By the end of the century, it was converted to Buddhist uses.
Angkor and Angkor Wat is part of the soul of Cambodia. It's buried in our heart as the symbol of our people.
One of the first Western visitors to Angkor Wat, Antonio da Maddalena, wrote, quote, "It is like no other building in the world." And he was right. Number 8. The Ajanta Caves, India. Considered one of the earliest examples of Buddhist art and architecture anywhere in the world, the Ajanta Caves deserve to be a big deal.
This temple cave complex describes the rise and fall of Buddhist art in India.
By most estimates, many of the carvings date back as early as the 2nd century BC. The caves are situated within dense jungle and were rediscovered in 1819 largely by accident by a British officer while on a hunt. Described by the Archaeological Survey of India as, quote, "the finest surviving examples of Indian art," the cave's insides offer ancient depictions of Buddhist teachings and figures of the Buddha himself.
Among all the paintings at Ajanta, this bodhisattva figure holding a lotus flower is considered to be the finest.
Number 7. The Sigiriya Rock Fortress, Sri Lanka. Also known as the Lion Rock of Sri Lanka, Sigiriya is the country's most visited historic site and a truly unique attraction. When King Kashyapa seized the throne, he made Sigiriya his new capital and fortress. The giant rock formation was decorated with distinctive artwork as well as a gateway adorned with a lion, thus the name Lion Rock. After Kashyapa's death in 495 CE, the site became a Buddhist monastery and fulfilled this function until the 14th century. And now, it is an archaeological melting pot, a geological peculiarity that offers a once-in-a-lifetime panoramic view. Number 6. Wave Rock, Australia. Name a world-famous rock located in Australia.
The 15-metre-high, uniquely shaped monolith attracts visitors from across the globe.
Most would only ever have one answer: Ayers Rock, otherwise known as Uluru. However, if you ever are down under, you could head to Perth, take a 3 or 4 hour tour to Haydn, and have yourself a geological experience that's a little less mainstream.
The rainwater brings out the orange in the rock, but sections where the water is diverted turn dark. Over millennia, water has played a part in forming and colouring the rock.
This rock, so named for obvious appearance-related reasons, is some 2.7 billion years in the making. Contrary to logical belief, the best waves in Australia aren't always found on the coast. Number 5. The ancient city of Bagan, Myanmar. The capital of the Kingdom of Bagan from the 9th to the 13th centuries, at its height, Bagan was home to over 10,000 religious temples. Now those numbers have dwindled, but still there remain an unprecedented 2,200-plus monuments, pagodas, temples, and buildings within the city, scattered across 40 square miles. It was once an international center for alchemy, astrology, philosophy, and medicine, and though it no longer thrives as in yesteryear, it remains one of the most magical places on Earth. Number 4. The Metora Suspended Rock Monasteries, Greece. With a name meaning suspended in air, our next underappreciated place is incredible now, but was even more so when first created. The Metora complex is a series of monasteries carved into and built atop of unique sandstone pillars, rising out of the trees. Originally inhabited in the 9th century by religious recluses and monks, the buildings were deliberately difficult to access via a frighteningly fragile rope and net pulley system. There are carved staircases now, but the original inhabitants were real hardcore hermits. Number 3. The White Temple, aka Wat Rangkun, Thailand. Today's most modern wonder, the White Temple is a work in progress, not expected to be fully completed until 2070. Privately owned and constructed by Thai artist Chalamchai Kosipipat, it's situated in Thailand's Chiang Rai province, and after falling into disrepair and being rebuilt by the artist, opened in 1997. The temple is both a conventional place of Buddhist worship and an unconventional house for modern art and ideas. The Ubosat is the central building, inside of which are murals dedicated not to tradition, but to contemporary events and idols. Michael Jackson features here, as does Freddy Krueger. There are images of the oil industry and of terrorism, because one day, this will all be ancient history too. Number 2. The Meenakshi Amman Temple, India. Considered as architecturally important to southern India as the Taj Mahal is to the north, the Minakshi Temple is 6 hectares of unrivaled art, culture, legend, and history.
This wonder of art and architecture is in the middle of the old city, with streets arranged around it in concentric squares.
Said to be the home of triple-breasted goddess Meenakshi, whose superfluous breast melted away upon marriage to Shiva, it houses an estimated 33,000 sculptures and welcomes 15,000 visitors a day.
Over the centuries, there was reconstruction and expansion by kings and rich patrons.
Many of those visitors stick around until closing as well, for an important daily ritual in which an image of Shiva is carried to Meenakshi's bedroom to consummate their union. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Angel Falls, Venezuela. At 3,212 feet tall, our winner is the world's highest uninterrupted waterfall. And if that's not wonder-worthy, then what is?
Getting here isn't easy or cheap, but for those who can come, it's an unforgettable experience.
Angel Falls, named after the U.S. aviator who first flew over them, have a legendary spot within the history of exploration. Notoriously difficult to locate, and even harder to navigate once you're actually there, they've become a sort of unofficial aim for any aspiring adventurer.
For Venezuelans, this is an emotional moment, viewing a national treasure.
Plus, they're the inspiration for Paradise Falls in the Pixar film Up. Quite simply, they're beautiful, they're breathtaking, and they beat everything else out there. Which of these majestic sights is first on your bucket list? Let us know in the comments below.
Over thousands of years, civilizations carved their homes into the soft rock here to create the world's most unusual high-rise neighborhood.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.